factorization of a polynomial. So first of all, let's understand what do we mean by factorization of a polynomial. So factorization means dividing a polynomial into two or more polynomials. Suppose I have a polynomial fx and I am factorizing it into px and qx, then fx will be equal to px multiplied by qx. But the main thing that also tells about the purpose of factorization, which means we factorize just to reduce the degree of a polynomial. Suppose I have fx and I have factorized into px into qx. So you will always notice that px, degree of px and qx, that is always less than fx. So I am converting fx into a polynomial which has lesser degree, means in a simpler form. So I am converting a complex polynomial into more and more simpler polynomials. So why we are required to do that? Just because it is easier to solve a polynomial with less degree. Suppose I have a linear polynomial, a quadratic polynomial and a cubic polynomial. So the easiest of all these three options is to solve a linear polynomial. So that's why to get the desired results, we always tend to move from complex to lighter, simpler forms. So that is the function of factorization. So now, what are the ways to factorize a polynomial? So first way to factorize a polynomial is grouping the similar term that you have already learned in your previous classes. Second method is factorization theorem, and third, splitting the middle term, and fourth one is algebraic identity. In this lecture, we are going to focus our concern to the factorization theorem and splitting the middle term. And the last one, use of algebraic identities, that we will discuss separately, because as identities are itself a very big topic. So let's move to our whiteboard and start our studies with the logic. Suppose I have a polynomial fx and this polynomial is divided by gx. So while dividing two polynomials, we get two more polynomials. One is quotient, that let's represent that by q of x, and the second one is r of x, which is known as remainder polynomial. So this fx, this polynomial, which is also known as dividend via original polynomial, this can be written as fx is equal to multiplication of gx and qx is equal to gx multiplied by qx and adding remainder to it. So that we all of us know, because in case of real numbers as well, if I have a real number n, so it can be and it is divided by certain other number, then it can be written as quotient multiplied by the divisor plus remainder. So that's the same case that we have done with in case of a polynomial. So this can be written, this polynomial fx can be written as rx. Now let's say case 1. What if r of x is 0? If remainder polynomial is 0, that means this implies fx can be written as gx multiplied by qx. From this statement, we can clearly see that gx and qx are factor of this original polynomial fx. So we have factorized this fx into gx and qx, two more polynomials. So this occur when remainder theorem is 0. That is, when we divide any polynomial by any of its factor, then the remainder will be equal to 0. So now from the remainder theorem, from what remainder theorem states, if I divide fx by x minus a, then remainder is equal to f of a. This is the statement of the remainder theorem. So if I replace this gx by x minus a, then what I will get? F of a will be what? Will be equal to 0. If f of a is equal to 0, this implies then x minus a is factor of this fx. That's clearly understood. If I divide fx by x minus a, then remainder is coming out to be 0. That means x minus a is factor of this polynomial. So what is then remainder is equal to 0, as x minus a is factor of this, and remainder is equal to f of a. So f of a is equal to 0. So factor theorem is continuation of remainder theorem. So let's see the statement of factor theorem. So factor theorem states that if a polynomial fx px of degree greater than 1 and a is any real number, then x minus a is factor if p of a is 0. So what we have studied up to now, we have clearly shown that if I divide any polynomial px by any of its factor, then remainder will be equal to 0. So this is what it is is said in factor theorem. So x minus a, if x minus a is factor of px, that means remainder will be equal to 0, and remainder is what? P of a. So that's statement 1 says. And in vice versa case as well, if P of a is 0, if we can find any number a, any real number a, such that value of polynomial for that real number a is 0, then x minus a is factor of px. So here 2 points should be noticed, that will be given with this x minus a, and we will be asked whether it is factor of the main polynomial or not. So this is the one case the question can be formed. In that case, we will simply check whether p of a is 0 or not. And in the second case, it can be asked that factorize a given polynomial. So यहाँ से अगर मैं factorize करता हूँ using factor theorem, so I can factorize any polynomial into linear polynomials only, because x minus a is linear polynomial. So let's this will be more clear if we will do some more questions on it. Let's take an example first. Suppose I have a polynomial px. I am given with x square plus 2x plus 1, and I am asked check whether x minus 2 is factor of the above polynomial or not. So what I will do, I will find the 0 of this. So 0 of this is equal to 2. So I will check p of 2 is 0 or not. So what is p of 2? That is 4 plus 4 plus 1, that is equal to 9, which is not equal to 0. That means x minus 2 is not factor of this polynomial. So if I am asked to check if x plus 1 is factor of this above polynomial or not. So for checking that, I will check p of minus 1. In that case, at 0 of this polynomial, this linear polynomial is minus 1. So p of minus 1 is what? Minus 1 square plus 2 multiplied by minus 1 plus 1. So what I will get? I will get 1 minus 2 plus 1, which is equal to 0. This implies x plus 1 is factor of this given polynomial. In this way, we can check whether a given polynomial is factor of another polynomial or not. Similarly, so let's move to exercise number 2.4 of NCERT. So here is the question number 1 of NCERT. Determine which of the following polynomial has x plus 1 as factor. यहाँ पूछा हुआ क्या है, x plus 1 इन गिवन पोलिनोमियल्स में से किसका फैक्टर है. तो हमें चेक क्या करना है इन सभी पोलिनोमियल्स के लिए. इन सभी पोलिनोमियल्स के लिए वी हैव टू चेक. Let's, if I represent all these polynomial by px, then what I have to check? I have to check whether p of minus 1 is equal to 0 or not equal to 0. If in any of these four cases, if it is 0, then x plus 1 is factor of this, and if it is not equal to 0, then x plus 1 is not factor of this. So let's find the value of minus 1. P of minus 1 in first case. In first case, P of minus 1 is equal to what? Minus 1 cube plus minus 1 square plus putting value of x equal to minus 1 plus 1. Opening the brackets, here I have minus 1 cube is equal to minus 1 and minus 1 square is plus 1 plus 1. Then I got minus 1 and then again plus 1. This implies what I got? This will cancel out and I will get 0. So, x plus 1 is factor of this polynomial. That's we have found. Similarly, we can check it in the second case as well. By finding P of minus 1. P of minus 1 in second case is equal to x raised to the power 4. So, minus 1 raised to power 4 plus minus 1 cube plus minus 1 का square raised to power 2 minus 1 and plus 1. So, these two will cancel out. So, minus 1, when minus 1 raised to any even power, we will get a positive number, positive 1. So, here we got 1, here we got minus 1 and minus 1 square is what? Plus 1. So, what will be the P of minus 1? P of minus 1 in this case is equal to 1, which is not equal to 0. So, in the second case, x plus 1 is not factor for this polynomial. So, we have checked for two cases. Similarly, it can be checked for case number 3 and case number 4 as well. In the same way by finding the value of P of minus 1. So, let's move to the next question. Use the factor theorem to determine whether gx is factor of px in each of the following case. Here what we have px and then we have gx. So, if gx is factor of px, then remainder will be equal to 0 and remainder is what? Remainder is p of a. So, in the first case, just like a remainder theorem, we will find the value of a. A is what? 0 of this gx. So, a in the first case is equal to minus 1. So, let's find in the first case p of minus 1. So, it is equal to 2 multiplied by minus 1 cube plus minus 1 square and then minus 2 multiplied by minus 1 and minus 1. So, 2 multiplied by minus 1 in plus 1 and then again plus 2 and then minus 1. So, minus 2 plus 1 plus 2 and minus 1, which is equal to 0. So, this means x plus 1 is factor of 2x cube plus x square minus 2x minus 1. So, this is the first case. Now, taking the second case as well. In the second case, we have gx equal to x plus 2. So, in this case, a will be equal to minus 2. So, what I have to find? I have to find p of minus 2. So, let's find out p of minus 2 by putting the value of x is equal to minus 2. So, I will get minus 2 cube plus 3 multiplied by minus 2 square plus 3 multiplied by minus 2 and plus 1. So, minus 2 cube is minus 8 plus 3 multiplied by 4 minus 6 plus 1. So, I will be left with minus 8 plus 12 minus 6 plus 1, which we can clearly see that it's not equal to 0. Because minus 8, minus 6, minus 14 and here I have 12 plus 1, 13. So, it is not equal to 0. So, x plus 2 is not factor in this again. Similarly, the third case can be done. Here is question number 4, part 1. So, what it says, factorize 12x square minus 7x plus 1. So, there are two methods of solving this problem. So, first method is splitting the middle term, and second method is use of factor theorem. So first we will see the first method, that is by splitting the middle term. By splitting the so what is this method, splitting the middle term? Let's first explain about this splitting the middle term. Here we have quadratic polynomial. So let's take a quadratic polynomial, ax square plus bx plus c. So here we have three terms. First one is ax square, then bx, then c. So bx, this is the middle term. So we have to split this b into two numbers p and q, such that if I add p and q, such that p plus q, then it comes out to be equal to b. And if I multiply p and q, then it should be equal to a multiplied by c. That is these two numbers, constant and coefficient of x square. So if I can do that, then I can factorize any quadratic polynomial. So always remember, this method is applicable to quadratic polynomials only, and this is the one of the most important method of factorizing a quadratic polynomial, as it is the easiest one and it is used quite openly. Even in your 10th class, you are going to use this method many times. So you have to do a lot of practice to get a mastery over this method, because you cannot use it become quite lengthy to use factor theorem and now and then. So for quadratic polynomials, to factorize a quadratic polynomial, we will be using this method only, that is splitting the middle term. Let's see, do the first question. So what the question says, here we have fx is equal to 12x square minus 7x plus 1. So what is the middle term? Middle term is 7. And so we have to break this 7 into two numbers p and q, such that their addition is equal to minus 7, such that p plus q is equal to minus 7 and pq is equal to 12 multiplied by 1. So one thing you can clearly see here, that when we multiply these two, this is equal to multiplication of this 12 and 1. So if I these pq will be anyhow will be factors of this 12. मीन्स अगर मेरे को पी और क्यू फाइंड आउट करने हैं, तो अब इसके जितने भी पॉसिबल फैक्टर्स हैं उन्हीं में से एक ही होगा. सो व्हाट कैन बी दोज नंबर्स? फैक्टर ऑफ 12, 6 and 2. Then we have 4 and 3. Then again we have 12 and 1 as well. In all these three cases, product is equal to 12. But when I add these two, 6 plus 2, then what I will get? If I add these two, 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. And in the second case, I will get 7. So my second condition is not fulfilled by these two numbers. If I take P and Q as 6, 2 or 4, 3. So but if in place of 4 and 3, I use minus 4 and minus 3. So if I add minus 4 and minus 3, I will get minus 7. And if I multiply these two numbers, minus 4 and minus 3, I will get 12. So both the conditions are satisfied by minus 4 and minus 3. So we will break minus 7 in two parts, minus 4 and minus 3x. So to find out these two numbers, you have to do a lot of practice. So I will break this minus 7 into minus 4 and minus 3. So this expression fx can be written as this implied fx is equal to what? 12x square minus 4x minus 3x plus 1. From the first two terms, I can take out 4x as common. So taking 4x common from first two terms, into the bracket I will have 3x minus 1, and last two terms I can take minus 1 as common. So I will get 3x minus 1. So from the complete entire expression, I can take 3x minus 1 as common. So into the bracket, I will have 4x minus 1. So these are the two factors of this polynomial. Now let's take the second part of this. So here I have fx equal to 2x square plus 7x plus 3. So here what is middle term? Middle term is 7. So I have to break 7 into two parts such that when I multiply those parts, I will get 3 multiplied by 2, 6. So on adding, I will get 7, and on multiplying those two parts, I will get 6. So what can be those possible factors? Those factors will be factor of this 6. So two factor of 6 are, if I take 1 and 6, I can take 2 and 3. But in the second case, you will notice if I add these two numbers, 2 and 3, I will get only 5x. So that means 2 and 3 cannot be these two numbers. But if I take 1 and 6 to split 7x, I will get 7x as addition and 6 as product. So let's break this 7x into two parts of 1 and 6. So fx will be equal to 2x square plus 6x plus x plus 3. From the first term, two terms, I can take 2x as common. So into the bracket, I will have x plus 3, and from the last two terms, I can take 1 as common, so I will have x plus 3. So from the entire expression, I can take x plus 3 as common, and into the bracket, I will have 2x plus 1. So these are the two factors. You can check with the factor theorem as well by checking f of minus 3 will come out to be equal to 0, and similarly f of minus 1 by 2, that will also be equal to 0. So this will prove that these are the two factors of this. So moving on to the next question. But this splitting the middle term method is applicable to quadratic polynomials only. If we have more a polynomial with higher degree, let's say cubic polynomial or 4 degree polynomial, 5 degree polynomial. So first we have to factorize that polynomial to achieve either this quadratic polynomial, or we have to apply factorization theorem or algebraic identity. Let's take next question. So here we have cubic polynomial. So the first one is fx is equal to what? X cube plus 13x square plus 32x plus 20. So this polynomial, to factorize this polynomial, I have to use factor theorem. So those factors, for the finding those factors, means if I have to find a factor x minus a, so what I have to find? I have to find the value of a. So what can be the possible values of a? You cannot randomly cross check for which number this polynomial is coming out to be 0. So but you can always notice that a will be one of factor of this constant term. If I check for the factors of this constant term, then I can check for those factors and I can check whether the value at that value of polynomial is 0 or not. So 20 के factors क्या हो सकते हैं? We can have plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 4, and there will be many more factors. So let's first check out for f of 1. So what is value of f of 1? F of 1 is equal to 1 cube plus 13 plus 32 plus 20. So all the terms are positive, so that means this is not equal to 0. So we will leave this case f of 1. So let's check out for f of minus 1. F of minus 1 will be minus 1 cube will be equal to minus 1 plus 13 multiplied by 1. Minus 1 का स्क्वायर 1 होगा, plus 32 multiplied by minus 1 equal to minus 32 plus 20. So here I will get minus 32, 33 and plus 33 equal to 0. This implies x minus 1 is one of the factor. X plus 1, sorry. X plus 1 is one of the factor of this polynomial. So we have found one factor of this. So if I have found one linear factor of this polynomial, so I will be left with a quadratic polynomial. So there are two ways of solving this further. So fx can be written as x plus 1 and there will be some quadratic polynomial qx. So what we have to find? We have to find qx. So qx either we can find by dividing directly this fx by x plus 1 by long division method, or we can rearrange the terms to get x plus 1 as common from the complete. So let's give it to equation number 1. So first I will rearrange all the terms to get x plus 1 as common. This fx can be rearranged as x cube plus, to get x plus 1 common, I will write 13x square as x square and I will be left with 12x square. Similarly, I will break this 32x into 12x plus 20x. 12x plus 20x plus 20. So now, from the first two terms, I can take x as common. So into the bracket, I will have x plus 1. Similarly, from the next two terms, I can take 12x as common. So into the bracket, I will have x plus 1. And from the last two terms, I can take 20 as common. So 20 common ले लिया तो यहाँ पे into the bracket I will have x plus 1. So from the complete expression, I can now take x plus 1 as common and into the bracket I will have, here I have taken x square as common, x square plus 12x plus 20. So now I have one factor and another second factor which is quadratic one. So this quadratic polynomial can be factorized using the splitting the middle term. We can split this middle term 12x as we did in the previous question. So let's do it by using the splitting the middle term method. I will factorize this quadratic polynomial as well. So this implies x plus 1 and x square plus, this 12x can be written as 10x plus 2x. When I multiply 10 and 2, I will get 20. And when I add 10 and 2, I will get 12. So both the conditions are fulfilled. So let's move on. X plus 1 into the bracket I will take x common from the first two terms. So into the bracket I will have x plus 10 plus, I can take 2 as common, into the bracket I will have x plus 10. So x plus 1 into the bracket, from the both these terms, these two terms, I can take x plus 10 as common and x plus 2. So I have broken this cubic polynomial into 3 linear polynomials. So these are the 3 linear polynomials which I got after factorizing this. Similarly, same method can be applied with this. Firstly, you will try to find a linear polynomial. Then you will be left with a quadratic polynomial. That quadratic polynomial can be further factorized by using splitting the middle term, or you can move on by following factorization theorem, whichever you like. So, but you have to always keep in mind when you apply a factorized theorem, you have to find the value of a. So a के लिए हम करते क्या, जो कांस्टेंट होता है उसी को फैक्टर करते हैं और उन्हीं के फैक्टर्स के लिए हम उस पॉलिनोमियल की वैल्यू चेक करते हैं. बट इन द सेकंड केस जो इसका कोफिशिएंट है y का कोफिशिएंट, द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ y is 2. So first we have to make it equal to 1. So how that can be done? I will take 2 as common, into the bracket I will have y cube plus, as I have taken 2 common, so this second term will be divided by 2, y square by 2 minus y and minus 1 upon 2. So, to apply factorization theorem, I will apply this with this px, which is this polynomial. And here constant number is minus 1 by 2. So, constant जो है वो that is equal to minus 1 by 2. So, I will check the value of this polynomial for all the factors of this 1 by 2. So, factors of 1 by 2 can be minus 1 by 2 multiplied by minus 1, 1 by 2 and minus 1. So, for that you will check and you will find out the factors of these terms. Thank you.